Just 47% of children entering kindergarten are academically ready. And statistics show just a third of Beecher and Russell neighbors have a high school diploma or GED. Since 1997, WKU's enrollment rates have climbed from over 14,000 to 21,000. An ignition interlock device is about the size of a cell phone, and it's installed in the ignition of an offender's vehicle. Ladies, live here in EA Diddle Arena, I'm Paige Hagan. WKU President Gary Ransdell and Athletic Director Todd Stewart are in a major time crunch following the shocking news that broke last week. It's been 10 days since the famed Whiskey Row caught fire. Now what's interesting, I learned that BG is the largest city besides Owensboro that hasn't passed a local civil rights ordinance to include LGBT. A team is working right now. They started about 7:30 this morning to clean up some of the debris. Officials say the funding allows agencies to hire officers dedicated to areas such as community outreach, gun violence, school-based policing, or homeland security. Coach Michelle Clark-Hurd, this woman is looking to become NCAA's 18th best Division I coach for 100 wins in her first 4 seasons. Kentucky clerk Kim Davis could be back in court soon for altering marriage licenses. The WKU defense held the nation's leading rusher to only 150 yards, and while that may not seem that impressive to you, you should know that Fournette had been averaging 200 yards a game. During the Pittsburgh Cubs playoff game last night, Pirates' Sean Rodriguez went bonkers last night after benches cleared. Rodriguez gets ejected from the game and decides to take his frustrations out on an innocent Gatorade cooler. It's a laugh out loud moment for those watching at home, but this Pirate is not very amused. Football. It's America's sport. Chances are, you've heard of Brom Squad on the Hill. But head up a mile north to WKU's South Campus, and that's where you'll find a different kind of football.
Hey, bring it in, boys. Bring it in, this isn't a water break. Somebody said something about rugby, never played before, so I went out and fell in love.
That's the team captain. Check out that ink. The Hilltopper Men's Rugby Club today isn't the same program it was a few years ago.
We're starting to play those clubs that take the sport seriously, emphasizing rugby as a competitive sport. We're playing schools like Ohio State, Alabama. We played, Louisville. We've played Indiana.
The veterans' passion and enthusiasm for the game is pretty contagious. Under Gates' leadership, the club's winning mentality is evident.
This right here is what we call a ruck. Okay, so when you get tackled holding the ball, you have to release it when they take you to the ground. So your team comes out and clears off the defender. With you. There's 3 main tackle rules. Tackle low, you got to keep the arms off below the shoulders. You got to wrap up, so you got to wrap them up, and you can't lift them up. You have to take them straight to the ground.
Captain Gates' love for the game has led him to pursue a degree in physical education.
Using my shoulder like this.
And the love for his team
all right?
has kept him right here at WKU.
I have 2 jobs on the side. I'm not the only person that does that. We're doing this purely for the love of the sport. Nobody makes us come out here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I just quit one of my jobs so I could have more time to dedicate to the team. I've been offered scholarships to 2 other schools, and I turned them down because I just love my team, and I think we have a good thing going here.
In Bowling Green, Paige Hagan, The Extra Point.
You gotta make sure your lips are really, really far out.
The selfie has received amplified attention over recent years. This WKU senior artist exposes the selfie generation with a stroke of his brush and a lot of humor.
So what I do here is typically I paint pictures of myself. And what I mean by that is I have an entire series of work dedicated to selfie paintings. My position is saying, I experience this and I see it all the time, and I'm trying to use my ridiculous face, and I'm trying to make myself look not attractive, obviously. I'm but and just show people, use my face as an example to show people taking a selfie is something that's ridiculous.
If you know him, he's a character and he's goofy, and this he gets a kick out of his own work because he thinks it's funny, he enjoys it. He's in here all the time working and just really building up this series because you can tell that he's excited about it.
Dean's racked up many awards during his college career. including Best of Show in the 2015 U.S. Bank Celebration of the Arts.
This piece I call the Dean-pocalypse. And the purpose of this piece is to sort of take my whole idea of how social media affects ego, and this is the piece that links that to like my t-shirts and like the whole brand of it all. But I've had a lot of fun with this piece. I hope that shows through.
Don't let the hilarity fool you. Dean paints selfies for a purpose, mocking today's rising narcissism.
We're just so numb to it that we don't really recognize how ridiculous the idea is of taking a picture of yourself, putting it on Facebook, and doing it for the purpose of getting some sort of social validation with likes and comments and followers. This face is worth $1 million.
Art appreciation just got a little more entertaining. For News Channel 12, I'm Paige Hagan. It's impossible to ignore WKU's transformation over the last 2 decades. It's even more impossible to ignore the architect that built an evolution.
There are a lot of things professionally that we take a lot of pride in and feel very good about, that we have indeed met the board's challenge in 1997 to lead a transformation. For the time we spent and all we've invested here, I could not possibly be as all in anywhere else as we have been here.
All in. That's how WKU president plans to tackle his last 17 months before passing the torch in 2017.
Our patients won't be any less in retirement than they have been while we're working.
20 years under his leadership helped put WKU's name on the international map. And the numbers are there to prove it. Since 1997, WKU's enrollment rates have climbed from over 14,000 to 21,000. Applicant and graduation rates have since doubled, and retention rates have climbed nearly 10%. Yet many sleepless nights have come with recent budget cuts, demanding immediate action.
2006 was the last state budget that we received incremental funding for higher education. It's been a lost decade in terms of state funding. We'll come up with our strategies, but do our best to avoid it. And in the meantime, I'll have some legislative hearings where I'll make it clear the pain that this is going to create on our campus and try to make the case.
For Ransdale's tireless efforts, many Hilltoppers think of their president as a legend.
I have students calling and coming to the office and wanting to get selfies and so forth because I won't be there for that photograph when they graduate.
In Bowling Green, Paige Hagan, News Channel 12.